idea of a second deputy for Berga complicates dialogue. A number of Parliament members denied signing the proposal of South Area's deputies. Parliament members stressed that their signatures are forged, accusing that Alliance bloc of forging their names and including them in the proposal. Parliament member Hamdan Aqiq stressed that his name was among the forged signatures and he will legally pursue those who exploited his name without his approval. Media sources in البليدى reported that one of the guards of Prime Minister Abdullah Thani died by the mistaken bullet became out of his colleague's pistol. The source noted that the deceased Muhammad Tabawi died as a mistaken bullet was fired from a pistol of his colleagues during cleaning the weapon at their residence, and then he was taken to hospital to help him, but he died of his injuries. Media sources said that elements of terrorist Daesh group seized a 2 truck loaded with flour while they were on their way on to Al Jafra. The sources noted that the group's elements released the drivers after taking 2 shipments in Sirta. They also pointed out that the exact amount seized by the group is estimated by about 800 quintals. Operations of seizing truckloads of flour were repeated during last week while they were on their way to the south of the country. The truck and its driver were taken away to Sirta, and then the whole shipment of flour was taken to be sold to packers in the city at high prices. The National Human Rights Commission published a summarized report on the humanitarian and living conditions of civilians in Sirte titled by Humanly Strike City of Sirte suffers bad humanitarian conditions. A report of the Humanitarian Affairs Department of the Commission noted that the city of Sirte suffers inhuman bad conditions, the matter that increased the exodus of families going out of the city since terrorist Daesh group has taken control of the city. Moreover, the Commission denounced the inaction of authorities in spite of the difficult living conditions such as housing, wages, medicine, study, clothing, food and daily living. The reports also pointing out that the number of the displaced from the city increased to 13,000 families. Tunisian Minister of National Defense Farahat al-Horshani stated that an integrated electronic monitoring system in coordination with the German government will be launched to ensure that the Tunisian-Libyan border control between Ras Gadir and Al-Khadr Tower. Al-Horshani said this electronic system aims at strengthening border controls, adding that the construction of the security firm at the border will be completed soon. Horshani stressed the German government's determination to strengthen the partnership with Tunisia in the military field, noting that the main pillars of this partnership will be determined through joint committees during a next meeting in a month. U.S. and coalition warplanes carried out 20 airstrikes against terrorist Daesh militants in Iraq and Syria, primarily hitting targets around the Iraqi towns of Ramadi and Sinjar, the U.S. military said today. Coalition jets conducted 6 airstrikes around Sinjar in northwestern Iraq, destroying fighting terrorist Daesh positions, machine guns, weapons cache and mortar positions. It said in a statement, they hit a terrorist Daesh weapons cache, vehicle-borne explosives, heavy machines, guns and fighting positions with 4 airstrikes near Ramadi. Coalition jets carried out a total of 15 strikes in Iraq, also targeting the rebels near Fallujah, Kisk Sultan, Abdullah and Tal Afar, the statement said. In Syria, coalition warplanes carried out 2 airstrikes near Al-Hol, 2 near Mariaz and 1 near Diyar Zur, the military statement said today. European Parliament President Martin Schulz meets Iranian Parliament Speaker Ali Larijani during a visit to Tehran. The European Parliament President Martin said that now we are in the so-called implementation phase, and at the end of this implementation there could be an opportunity of an open door for reaching changes in the field of economic cooperation and trade, and field of investment here in Iran. Moreover, he said we had agreed on one point together. At the end, it it is the right of a society to decide on all such things that need to be transformed. Therefore, the common goal is to have free elections in Syria, but it requires a national dialogue to make this possible. Is clearly a task of all those states that can have an influence on the Syrian conflict. He added, in a nationwide dialogue in Syria, we will include crimes which have been committed in Syria, and they should be followed up. Any government that throws bomb on part of his own population must take responsibility for it. The United States has sent more than 30 troops to central Niger to help train local forces to fight terrorist group State TV and security sources said. Niger is the middle of the desert corridor between Mali's Lulis North and Libya's Barren South, used by terrorist militants, including some with ties to Al-Qaeda. State television said that U.S. Ambassador Ihwan Reddick has visited the troops area on Friday at the base in the Agadez, a gateway city to the desert north. A Niger military source said the training began in mid-October in Agadez with more than 30 American instructors who will train more than 100 of our soldiers. The mission is the latest signs of closer military cooperation between the two countries, following the donation of 2 U.S. military aircraft in late October. Washington is seeking to tackle militants in the Sahel-Sahara Band as well as Boko Haram fighters further south while minimizing expensive long-term troop commitments. And finally, about immigration crisis, supporters of the right-wing anti-immigrant party Alternative for Germany, AfD, which saw its support climb to a person last month, took to the streets in Berlin today against the migration policy of German Chancellor Angela Merkel, holding up banners demanding freedom of speech and resignation of Merkel. The protesters were clear on their positions on the government migrants policies. Alexander Cloudland, deputy party leader of AfD, said the migrants influx into these countries without any control, and the government has totally lost control of what is happening here. And if a government cannot guarantee the inner and outer safety of a country, then it must go. The police estimated the number of AfD supporters at 5,000 who marched largely peacefully through downtown Berlin. Some left-wing protesters who were trying to block the route of anti-immigration march were carried away by policemen who kept a close watch on the rival demonstrations. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website at www.watanalkarama.tv. Thanks very much for being with us. My greeting, Rانيا البليدى.